Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How are you guys doing? Interisti all around the globe. We are here to preview the Supercoppa Italiana final between Inter and Napoli, as we discussed in the post-match reaction after the win against Lazio, the really nice win against Lazio. We said these are the two rightful finalists of this new format, this new made-up Supercoppa format, where they added one extra game to add the Coppa Italia finalist and the other team that won the Coppa Italia. So here we are to preview what should have been the final anyway. There shouldn't have been that extra game between Napoli and Fiorentina. There shouldn't have been the extra game between Inter and Lazio. And we're here to what should have been the final anyway. And what's on offer? It's going to be 8 million euros. As we discussed the prize money for the actual competition, as user person 53 says, and then some pride, which I think it's more on Napoli side really, because Napoli, of course, doesn't seem like it, but they are still the holding champions of Italy, guys. It seems like a long distant memory of Napoli's cruising to the Serie A title last year in great fashion, and then this season where are they? I mean, I know they're back in the top four race. Have a quick look, pull up where the hell Napoli are in Serie A. So they are ninth. Even though they won their last game, they're still ninth. But still, that's the thing. The top four race is so interesting this year because so many teams are just fumbling their bag this year, that actually many teams can get back in there, because Fiorentina are only on 34 points and Napoli all the way down in ninth are on 31. So literally one win, one team loses, one team wins, and you're back in the top four potentially. So not all is lost for Napoli, and I still think the quality of the squad, I still think Napoli will out of, like, if you ask me, out of Atalanta, Bologna, Lazio, Fiorentina, these teams are still probably, I know it's Mazzarri is their coach, but surely they're not able to drop out of top four this year, or at least even Europe, top six. That should be doable. But that's what Napoli, in Napoli's sense, that's all they have to play for, really. That prize money, of course, which is always good, especially if they miss out on Europe, Champions League money. Anything is good, but just to get their season back on track, this is embarrassing. The worst title defense. I hate it. This is what I hate Napoli just for this, because Milan last year had the worst title defense in history, and that was a great point to make fun of Milanisti for them being like the Leicester of Italy, like this great crazy one-off miracle. And now Napoli went and ruined this season and made an even worse title defense. So I am actually annoyed with Napoli for letting Milan off the hook and now having a more embarrassing title defense. But yeah, if they, that's what they've got to play for, some pride at least, and make it look like they're actually a decent team. When that last season wasn't just like a mad miracle. But at the end of the day, yeah, for us, for Inter was there to play for 8 million. Bit of pride, a bit of mentality of we go and win everything. But at the end of the day, you guys know my feelings on this. I am really not that bothered. If we lose, we lose. I'm not losing much sleep over this. It is what it is. I'm sure, yeah, we'll get into Inzaghi's comments and Lautaro's pre-match conference. They both said, of course they want to win it now that we're in it. And yeah, that's my feeling as well. Now that we're here, the final is the semi-final that I really didn't care about. But now that you're in the final, you're here, you're going to waste the energies anyway. So might as well waste them in a positive way, win the trophy, bring it back home, get the extra money, get the, positive feeling of still a trophy at the end of the day. And yeah, that will be great for me. So let me give a shout out to the people in the chat before we get into predicted lineups and all that good stuff. Jake Leah in the house. What's up, brother? Hope you are doing well. Matteo in the house. Mattia, yes. Reminding the people, as always, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Christian Potato says he's perfectly fine with the Lazio game existing. My eyes were feasting. Well, yeah, that's true. One of the best games, as I said, maybe top 3 under Inzaghi. or even just like in terms of everything, it might even be the best. Of course, there's like better, more important games or more important performances that we've done, but just aesthetically, style wise, pressing, defending, the amount of chances created, the style of chances created, that probably was like Limonebo at its peak, and against the, at least a good team. It wasn't like against, a relegation battling team. So in that sense, yes, we are, especially people that went and watched it live. I know a few people from the channel commented the last time around and said, I was at that game watching it live. So those guys definitely appreciated the existence of that game for sure. Marvel Lawson, bonsoir. It will give us a good boost mentally for the rest of the season by winning it. Yeah, that is true. But at the same time, we've seen the Marvel Lawson now 2 seasons in a row. We've won it. Has it really given us that mental boost for the rest of the season? First season under Inzaghi, did I give us that boost? Second season last year, did I give us that boost? Not really. If anything, last year was when we won it against Milan. We smashed them. Was it 3-0 in that final in Saudi Arabia? And did it really make much of a boost to our rest of the season? Because we woke. It took us till about March, after really the Porto game, really, where we started to wake up, end of February, March, when we started to wake up in the league. So I think, yeah, in theory it should, but I don't really know how much it ends up really doing for the mentality. But again, yeah, the fact that you go into every competition to try to win it, that is, great testament to Inzaghi and the players. Matthias says I was mad before the Lazio game. Yeah, exactly. That's the same as me. Now that you're in the final, it's a trophy. And I always say, like, if this was a trophy that was played, back in the day under Mourinho and before, like this Supercoppa used to be played in before the season kicks off. So it's like the Community Shield in England. Then it's meaningless. But once you play it in the middle of the season, it becomes a little bit more important, this trophy. So I've always since Italy have been doing it in the middle of the season, it has become important because the season has started. So it becomes more than just a friendly. So once we're in the final, definitely agree. Abinash, yeah, maybe. I don't know if it really works like that. It's not like the money goes straight into Inter's bank account, 8 million straight, invoice straight in. But hopefully it gives us some, room to maneuver. I think it still depends on someone, i.e. Alexis Sanchez, if he is getting these offers from Saudi Arabia, leaving, making that budget in Inter's like wage budget, and then seeing what's possible incoming as a loan or very, very low cost. But especially with all the rumors heating up about Mehdi Taremi in the summer as a free agent, it's definitely, if it's going to happen, it's probably going to be just a loan. With Mazzari, the doable becomes impossible. Yeah, of course, we've got a banter level coach on the other side of the game tomorrow. Sharif, hope you are doing well, brother. Sub Shams, Eduardito. Udinese had my hopes up for a while. Oh yeah, yesterday. I mean, I didn't watch. I was busy yesterday with a friend's birthday party, so I'd missed all of Serie A yesterday. But I heard of all the drama, the racism incident with Mike Magnon. That was, I saw the highlights afterwards. Pretty disgraceful scenes. Hopefully, yeah. But I mean, who are we kidding? It's Serie A, so it's not going to be dealt properly. But hopefully, you just gotta hope at some point they make some form of important decision from this and heavier punishments to stop these things from happening. But actually, yeah, the fact, even though obviously I would want Milan to lose every single game, but because that happened, I wanted Milan to win. So I'm glad that Milan actually won that game, and in a very painful fashion for Udinese, because it was like, last few minutes of the game, Okafor got that goal. So for once, I was happy for Milan to win the game. So up yours, idiot racists from the Udinese crowd. And then Azzurri, hope you're doing well. Eminem Production. So how does your name keep changing on YouTube? So last time it was like Cameron, wasn't it? And then now it's back to Eminem Production. I don't know. What are you doing in the background? Yeah, hope to see some rotation, but who am I kidding? Again, in the rotation, we'll get into it because Inzaghi kind of hinted that there are some players struggling with a bit of fatigue. no shit, brother. We could have told you that for free because we're playing the game 3 days after that semi-final. So obviously there are going to be some guys that are a bit tired. Very quick turnaround of the game. So if there was going to be rotation, it was going to be that semi-final. That's why I wanted to see Frattesi starting, Dumfries, and see De Vrij continuing. Now it's in the final, then we're definitely not going to see any rotation unless it's like related to that fatigue or any type of injuries. Shakir in the house, if I'm not wrong, already earned 5 million by reaching the final. Winning it will bring 3 million more. Okay, fair enough. That's pretty. I don't know. Is that true? Because just the semi-final earns. Oh, I guess you mean like because we beat the semi-final, then just reaching the final now. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then an extra 3 million if you actually win it. Yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, you see, that's already worth more than the Coppa Italia. Just reaching the final of this, I think that's what you get, like 4 million or 5 million max from the Coppa Italia. If you win it, I think that is as well. So that's already more than you get from Coppa Italia, which we are happy that we are out of this year. Yeah, Sharif, of course, the transfer window remains open the whole of January. I think it closes, 1st of February this year. Let's have a quick look. January, because I think, this year it closes 1st of February, if I'm not incorrect. Italy. Yeah, Serie A clubs can register new signings. Let me put it up. Serie A clubs can register new signings in the winter transfer window starting January 2nd, and then have time to complete. Okay, January 31st. Okay, for some reason I read somewhere it was February 1st this time around, but no, January 31st. Yeah, as always, open until the end, and usually, the last week is when most of the action happens. That's when teams, if they're desperate to sell someone or buy someone, that's when things really, really happen in January. Of course. Now, as I said, Basisa, now that we're in the final, it has to be the strongest 11. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing some little changes here and there. Again, wouldn't mind to see Frattesi starting, or just 1 or 2 changes in there, because I still think you make one of those 2 changes and you still should be able to beat Napoli. But it doesn't really matter what I want. Inzaghi's gonna do what he's gonna do. Racists lack intelligence, 100%. Mattia, very, very stupid people. And the fact that it still happens in 2024, it's not astounding. It's just, I thought things would change at some point, but no. Why is it still out of focus? There you go. Struggling. Oh yeah, that's better. Ahmad in the house, Hakan FC, what a brother. Do we have hope in our brothers over there? Oh yeah, of course. Thank you for reminding us, Ahmad. The main focus, really, I mean, the Supercoppa, nice and all, but our brothers in Lecce, down in the south of Italy, that's what our focus is really today. Tomorrow is on the Supercoppa, but today, Genoa winning. But today, Lecce versus Juventus at 7:45 p.m. Do we have any hope? You guys let me know, because I have zero hope. 0.5% hope in Lecce doing anything. Let's have a look what type of lineup Lecce will actually have for this game. No. Pulling up that lineup, I have zero hope on this Lecce team, who actually, they were doing decent at some point, but now they're almost back into the relegation race. They did give, the only hope that gives me with Lecce is they do usually give, when you go to Lecce, it is a hard game. And last year, they actually gave him a really hard game. They needed like a last-minute winner by the guy that now Juve's a golden boy who's suspended for his gambling addiction, Fagioli. They did give him a very hard game last year, but that was a different Juve. Like they were a more struggling Juve than this year, who they just seem to be unstoppable this year, Juve. So I have very little hope, to be honest. Who's they got? So yeah, obviously we know Fagioli, Pogba out, Moise Kean is out, the Shilio Chiesa's out. Okay. Oh, Rabiot, that's a big miss. That's a big miss. Big miss, because he was in my Serie A team of the season until now. Very important player for them. So yeah, that's a big omission, but what can Lecce do going forward? That's the issue. I don't see them hurting Juve at the back. That's the main issue. But yeah, what do you guys think? Sharif has a bit of hope. Hope you're right, Sharif. Hope you are right. Yeah, I think we all forgot Juve still employed that guy. And yeah, if Juve, which is most likely happening, Juve are gonna be top of the league by the time we come back from the Supercoppa. So that's what we need to see, how this Inter team do mentally this year, because now we're not the guys leading, we will be the chasers. And as you know, Allegri in his press conference the other day called it cops and robbers. So they would be now the robbers, and we would be the cops chasing them, because they would have that. Well, we would have that game in hand. So let's see how that works. But we've seen, the Milan Scudetto season, when we had that game in hand against Bologna, how that played in our minds, and then how it backfired in the end. I was always very hopeful. I was always downplaying that game. I remember very vividly saying, like, yeah, it's fine. I have faith in this Inter team. We'll go away to Bologna and we will do this, and we crumbled. So yeah, I hope Juve don't go top, but I really don't see any other outcome today than a Juve win. A draw would be great. We'll take a draw, because then, yeah, we remain top by at least 1 point. I'll take a draw from our brothers in Lecce. It says, I can't say I have zero hope, but there always will be a small part of me hoping. Yeah, of course. As I said, for me, it's the 0.5% hope. Hope that stadium is going to be sold out tomorrow. Yeah, I think so. We saw the difference, didn't we, guys, between Napoli, Fiorentina. Was it 9,500 guys in the stadium, people in the stadium, and Inter Lazio was pretty much sold out crowd and pretty much all Inter. And I expect, once again, to see a lot more, or see a full stadium once again. And once again, hopefully good state of the pitch. We saw how nice the pitch was and how much it helped this Inter team to play good football. Dumfries should start, well, maybe not this game. So again, I wanted him to start the previous game, but yeah, I'm not really sure what's the deal with the Dumfries. He didn't even come on against Lazio, did he? I don't know if because they're related to his contract talks. I know they've stalled, and he was asking for too much money, which I hope they laughed him out, or they laughed his agent out of the room when that happened, when he was asking for 5 million, if that is true, of course. But he didn't play against he didn't come on against Lazio. So I don't know what's going on with the whole Dumfries thing, because now I don't think his injury was that serious. But he's had a few niggling injuries this year, Dumfries. So yeah, I did want him to start that game against Lazio. Yeah, King Dorian in the house reminding us that we don't usually do much business in January. Although this Inter management have surprised us sometimes. Eriksson in the Conte era, and then Gosens in the first Inzaghi season. Those were big surprises to me. Yeah, and that Juve game, of course, at the beginning of February will be very, very important. But still, again, I see that potentially ending in a draw. So I don't really know, Mattia, in terms of if both teams, I can see both teams once again kind of being happy with a draw, how important that will be, that game. Of course, if it goes either way, then that could swing things. But I can see it being, once again, same thing that happened at the Allianz Stadium, where it was very cagey and both teams were very happy to come away with a draw. And that's probably the only time I've seen Inzaghi as well happy with the draw, in terms of his decision. He seemed to be pretty happy. Yeah, of course, as damaged Inter fans, we were all afraid of the winter depression / February coming up, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is, of course, they're planning ahead. They're planning not just for this season, and because of our financial restraints, those two guys are free transfers. That's why they've been brought in to plan for the next, not just next season, but next 2, 3, 4 seasons. But yeah, as fans, we are worried about this season specifically and having a striker. So again, I don't really have much hope on that, anything happening, but until the transfer window closes, I'll keep some little hope. bro, another season where we're going to be training Juve by 1 to Juve and then never catch them there. Yeah. But that's the thing, Lucretius. We can't always play like this. That's just unrealistic. No team in the world can play like we played against Lazio every single game. You're going to have drop-offs, and that's where we need to see this Inter team. Well, basically what we did in the first half, which is 1 loss and 1 draw, or a couple of draws that we had. That's amazing. If we replicate that, if we replicate what we did in the first half of the season in the second half, again, like I can't even like moan to Inzaghi and the team. Like you've literally done everything you can. If you get to 90 plus points and still don't win the title, it's like it's hard to even ask a little bit more, unless you lost that Juve game and then you did everything else right, and that's where the Scudetto was lost. Then you can definitely blame them. I'll get into the team news in a moment, Eduardo, but that is what Inzaghi has said, and again, no shock. I'm doing well. Aslani season. Hope you are doing well as well. Let's get into it. The predicted apologies there, guys. I pressed back by mistake on my mouse. Very easy mistake to make, so hopefully should be back. No. Pancake Buchanan will definitely not play. Again, if he didn't get any minutes in the semi-final, why would Inzaghi throw him on in the final? So, no chance again there, unless maybe for chasing the game and he's really desperate and he wants someone 1v1 attacking. But again, he'll probably throw on Dumfries if he was going to do that. Let's go into now because I pressed back, I've lost my shared screen and stuff, so I need to reshare the screen, all that kind of stuff. I need to put in my slides again. Okay, let's get into it. So Sport Media set here with the predicted lineups. Same exact lineup as the semi-final. The only changes looks like, for the moment, the one that looks confirmed is Bastoni. And as Matthias says, once again, Bastoni shamed by Acerbi, because Bastoni, we talk about it so much on this channel, whether it's a cold-like, flu-like symptoms, sore throat, that's usually one of the reasons why he sometimes misses games, or just little tiny muscular injuries or fatigue, which are both things that 35-year-old Acerbi never seems to get. Never. This guy is an absolute trooper. His body is made out of rubber or something, Kevlar. Is just never seems to get injured. Whereas on the other hand, Bastoni seems to be made out of similar stuff to Sensi, but obviously no one's as bad as Sensi. But there's always something. You can never. I don't know how many times Bastoni's ever played like 3 games in a row or something, and especially completing full 90 minutes as well. Because we always wonder why he's always the one sub, but there must be obviously a reason. Like the physios, the doctors must say, like there's always like he just probably doesn't have that kind of stamina, or just his body's just not made out of the same stuff that Acerbi is. Also Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan is also made out of some very, very tough stuff. Very, very tough stuff. And it's Mkhitaryan's birthday today. Look at that, 35 years old, and doesn't seem like it, does he? What a player. But he is also one of the ones, as Eduardo mentioned, in doubt, just because of Inzaghi mentioned a little bit of fatigue in the training session that they had earlier today or yesterday. But exact same lineup. So the only change would be Acerbi going in for Bastoni and De Vrij stepping into the middle, and everything else is the same. Let's go to here is the article. Says it's Italy star a doubt to start for Inter in Supercoppa final. Let's see what they say. According to TDMW, to Mercato, there was still 1 or 2 signs of muscular fatigue from Bastoni in today's training session as well. I think he only did there was a video of him just on the bike. So pretty likely that he's not going to start tomorrow. Inter coach Inzaghi will watch the defender in tomorrow's training session if Bastoni's back. to his best physically, then he will likely start. But in my opinion, he probably won't. And let's go to Inzaghi. The headline here is, I have to consider some tired players. And again, we could have told you that for free. The fact that in the semi-final, that was the chance for. And again, I'm not telling Inzaghi how he should do his job. Of course, Inzaghi is, the professional here, the one who's played professional football. Now he's a professional coach, earning millions and playing some of the best football in European football. So he doesn't need us and me to tell him what to do. But I would have rotated a bit more in that semi-final. I still think we would have beat Lazio. Maybe not as well, but I still think we would have been convincingly beating them in the way that we played. And now there are some tired players. Let's see, going to the quotes. I'm focusing on players who didn't play as much against Lazio right now. The coach admitted that some of the players are tired. Today's training session will make things clearer. I'll have to evaluate the players who played more minutes against Lazio. It's a final. Those are frequently decided by the key moments, and it's a final that we have to prepare for in 2.5 days. Yeah. There are potential pitfalls, but the team must, I guess they got it wrong, has to train the same way they've done until now. We are coming into this off the back of an excellent semi-final. Now we have the final to play. It will be against a team who are Italian and have a great deal of quality. So, yeah, it's we'll see how that develops. But I think in the end he'll probably, I think the lineup will be pretty similar to what we saw against Lazio, pretty much the exact same. Let me see some of your comments. Yeah, Shakir. But I always said as soon as Pavard was back, I was surprised actually there was the one more game that Bisek played even when Pavard was back. But then I knew, like I said it at the time, Pavard's back. Rest in peace to Bisek now. Unless it's Coppa Italia games, and now we don't have those either. So yeah, I don't think we're going to see much of Bisek apart from if Pavard or there's injuries at the back, which is a shame. But it is what it is. There's hierarchies in the team. That's just how it works. Or rather, play Frattesi for Barella. I'm scared for that yellow. Yeah, so that's another. Thank you, Aslan. That's another factor to consider with Barella at the moment. He is one of the guys on a caution. So if he gets one more yellow card, so if tomorrow he gets yellow carded, he misses the next game, which is the Fiorentina game. So Fiorentina in the Serie A, when we return, Hakan's already out of that. So you're already missing Hakan, Asllani is going to step in. And then if Barella gets yellow carded tomorrow, that means Barella's out. So you miss 2 out of the 3 minimum of the midfielders. And that would be maybe Frattesi coming in. So that's already way too much of a change midfield for Fiorentina, having Asllani and Frattesi step in with Mkhitaryan. Not good. And that also means that Mkhitaryan then has to start once again against Fiorentina. If he's already showing signs of fatigue, then you already know maybe Mkhitaryan's not going to be in great shape for that game. So hopefully Barella can keep his cool and not get a yellow. And then he's still in the Fiorentina game as well. He needs to keep a lookout for that because then he's still at danger for the Juve game. So it's kind of it's one of those things like, do you want him to take the yellow now and miss the Fiorentina and then back for Juve, or the other way around? We've seen him. Remember, there was that one streak where he did it. It was on the Conte, and of course, Conte's probably better at keeping players disciplined like that. But there was that streak where he managed to go literally months, weeks without getting booked, and he was on a caution for ages. So he can do it, but he needs to rein it in. We know sometimes not even his tackling that gets him yellow carded. Sometimes it's his reactions and outbursts that get him yellow carded. So he just needs to keep that in check because we can't afford to miss him and Hakan for sure in the Fiorentina game. No, Inzaghi just doesn't like him. We know. So Claasten's more likely to get a cameo than Sensi, to be honest. Eminem says Bisek, Frattesi, and Augusto should start. Well, I don't really see the point of Bisek starting unless you want to test him out left centre back, which I don't really want to test him out as a left centre back. here in a final. And then, as I said, yeah, Fratesi, I would again, the Barella yellow card thing makes me more convinced of that. And Augusto's an interesting one. I probably wouldn't start Augusto, but we know Di Marco completed 90 minutes, similarly to Bastoni. Not that he doesn't get as injured as Bastoni does or flu-like symptoms, but he very rarely completes 90 minutes. We know, like, athletically, he's not the most blessed Di Marco. So I when Inzaghi's talking about players that have a bit of fatigue or might be tired, I think Di Marco is one of those guys, but he played so well. And his technicality on the left, especially with Bastoni gone. If you have Acerbi and Augusto on the left-hand side, you've lost the whole, technical left-hand side that we usually boast. But I would keep an eye on Di Marco in terms of, I can see him being one of the fatigued ones for sure. But I'm not sure I would start Augusto because then you really lose. And he has not been very convincing recently as well, in his last few games, Augusto. But yeah, fair enough. That's Eminem's opinion. And let me see any other comments that I missed. No, I don't think. Oh yeah, we talked about this Lucretius. Yeah, stupid racist guys on the Udinese game. So solidarity for Mike Magnon. What's up, Bobby Marley? Hope you are doing good. But yeah, as always, this lineup is good enough to beat the team that we are facing. I'm happy with this lineup again. Maybe I would bring in Dumfries or Fratesi, but that's about it really. Happy. Let's move on to Napoli. Napoli, who have changed their formation, guys. The Mazzarri playing 4-3-3 by force lasted about a month and a half, 2 months. How long has he been there? That's how long it lasted, because he was forced by Aurelio De Laurentiis to play 4-3-3 and try to continue the Spalletti's. It didn't last too long. Uriel Castro said losing some players has become frequent occurrence at the end of each season. Which players do you think? Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't know. Well, as Inter fans, we always revert to talking about this stuff. At one point, we'll have to talk about it, Uriel. But I think right now, we'll talk about it as some other. Maybe after the transfer window closes, we'll probably talk about that. But so you have to watch out for the big performers, which is Thuram, and then Dumfries. Dumfries is always the guy for me. Has always been number one. Oh, God damn it! I can see my Wi-Fi flagging up again. I'm sure I moved the Wi-Fi router. Apologies, guys. If the Wi-Fi is, if the connection is a bit lagging, you can see it in my top corner of the screen that it's moving up and down, the latency. I don't understand. It should be we should be getting 200 megabytes, 200 MB internet. This is outrageous. I hate it when this happens. I'm just waiting for it to stop flagging. Let me know, guys, is it really lagging? If you could just comment down if it's worth continuing, or do I have to stop? Because sometimes I've had to stop my streams because of this stupid internet issues. Yeah, but it doesn't. I haven't got the thing upstairs, Noor. I haven't got the my new office room hasn't got that connection for me to use the wired. But I might have to do something and get it routed up to my room. But I shouldn't need to. I literally should be getting 200 MB. Okay, so it's good enough to continue. Okay. Yeah, I probably might need some of your help. But again, I think I know what I need to do. I just thought I didn't need to do it because I'm literally above, my room is above the router. So it should be literally just point up my computer's arse and get me really good connection. So I really don't understand. But yeah, it seems to be all right now. It seems to be all right. Yeah, I don't even think anyone's watching anything. Well, I'll have to check downstairs. Eduardo, as usual, reverting to the wife joke, is always very creative with his jokes, so brother. So yeah, this is the lineup they played against Fiorentina the other day, reverting to Mazzarri's formation, which he used to play originally at Napoli, if you remember, back in the Hamsik, Cavani, Lavezzi days. You remember back in those days when Napoli were up and coming, an exciting team to watch. Not winning anything, but they used to be a good team to watch, and I used to like Napoli, and they used to do decent as well in Europe a couple of times. But he's gone back to that formation, and that's the formation that beat Fiorentina 3-0. Not a bad formation, but again, only recently that game was the first time they played it. They've been playing 4-3-3 for 2.5 years. And he was, I'm like completely blanking on who Napoli's coach was before Spalletti. Who was Napoli's coach before Spalletti? Oh yeah, Gattuso. Yeah, so even Gattuso was 4-3-3/4-2-3-1. Ancelotti was like 4-4-2. Sarri was 4-3-3. Benitez, Rafa Benitez, 4-2-3-1. So literally, you have to go all the way back to Mazzarri, which was 2013 last time round, to the last time they played 3 at the back formation. So I'm not expecting them to be, very organized in this and know all the patterns of play and having this memorized. So I think they're going to be up for grabs. I mean, they are anyway, like in terms of their form. But let's see the predicted lineup. Is there any changes compared to what they played? No, so it's the exact same lineup as they played. Yeah. So they should also have a bit of fatigue issues in there. Like I guess Mazzarri is going to force the players to play, and they've got more injury issues than us. Like they've got Oliveira, Nathan, Meret, Demme, obviously Osimhen and Anguissa are out for the AFCON, so they've got a lot more injury issues to watch out for compared to us. We've only got Cuadrado, and as I keep saying, I don't even count him. But they've got Ngonj, the new guy they've signed from Verona, potentially off the bench. Junior Traore as well, Raspadori. And Zerbin, the guy that came off the bench and scored 2 goals, the 2 crucial goals against Fiorentina. A guy that's almost like a meme player for Napoli fans when I follow, Napoli Talk TV and other Napoli fans. He's not considered to be Napoli level, but sometimes you get these like little bursts of form from even these random ass players. So he's definitely one to watch out for off the bench if he performs like that. And of course, we got to watch out for our potential future player, guys, right? Piotr Zielinski, who has pretty much seems to have given up on Napoli. Like when you watch him play, you can tell the effort is gone from the game. He looks like he's not going to renew that contract, and all the reports are pointing to that Marotta has done all the work in the background with him, his entourage, and he's going to be an Inter player come the summer. So if he comes off the bench, we'll definitely keep an eye out on him, or maybe he helps us as a future Inter player. But yeah, that's Napoli's team. Nothing too crazy to talk about. Just in that midfield, he's new signing in the summer. He's struggled to adapt, but he's a little bit more of he's less technical than like Zielinski, Anguissa, Lobotka. He's a little bit more of a runner, a bit more of athletic profile in there. And Lobotka, a lot of these players have reverted to like their real level. Like in the Scudetto season, guys like Mario Rui, Lobotka himself, even though I like Lobotka, but the level he was performing at was like best CDM in the league. And Mario Rui was like best left back in the league. And João Jesus was even a reliable backup, which is not even his level. Rahmani was, performing at a very, very high level. Kvara, obviously we know about Kvara. He was, MVP level. And now he's really kind of, this is the type of level you thought, like, have a good impact. And it's like, still an upgrade on Insigne. but having ups and downs. Whereas last year Kvara was just like boom. Even Simeone was like scoring a crazy amount of goals off the bench. But all of these guys have now. Rahmani looks like a shadow of himself. Di Lorenzo was, he's captain fantastic for them. He's kind of like their Darmian, the guy that they can plug in everywhere, and he's going to do a great job. But he's also quite good going forward. But even this season, he looks a shadow of himself. Yeah, Jean Jesus is now reverted to that guy that we remember from Inter. So on paper, it still looks like a good team, but a lot of these players have just completely fallen off a cliff in terms of their form and their level. So definitely a Napoli team up for grabs. And then I had a few screenshots prepared here. Speaking of Di Lorenzo, as I said, their captain. Spalletti used to speak about him in glowing terms in terms of his importance in and outside of the field. But you can see the three at the back formation. Essentially, still you can see in terms of these are the average positions they picked up against Fiorentina a few days ago. So you can see if you take the look at the back line, it's still like because of Di Lorenzo being given the freedom to kind of step into midfield, maybe being almost like an inverted wing back / center back with the ability to come up because his technical level is really good. It still looks like almost a 4 at the back, but then obviously when they defend, and I think this is probably the main reason why Mazzarri resorted to going to 3 at the back, which is really 5 at the back. They've been conceding a lot of goals and not being solid defensively, so just to get a few more numbers at the back and help Rahmani and Juan Jesus, because them two being your 2 centre back in the back 4, you're in trouble. You're asking for trouble. So I can see why the change has been made, especially defensively. But you can see also where their issues lie in terms of that midfield. They're going to be outnumbered. You can see Simeone steps back, to pick up the ball and be at that hold-up play number 18. But Lobotka and Kajus, they're going to have to cover a lot of midfield. And coming up against Hakan, Mkhitaryan, and Barella, if we play anywhere near the level that we played against Lazio, they're going to get popped off the park easily. They're going to get dominated in that midfield. Yeah, I did read something about that Zerbin is an Inter fan and he was in our youth teams. But who cares? I mean, fair enough. Thank you, Zerbin, for being an Interista, but not really a Inter level or even Napoli level player. Yeah, I agree. Sean, tomorrow is a must-win game. What do you think of our links to Goodmanson from Genoa? Yeah, decent player. If Genoa don't want too much money, yeah, he's definitely an upgrade on what we've got right now. And always you just have to see how that step up from a team like Genoa is. But he does look like a very neat and tidy player. Goodmanson, I think he's top 3 in the Serie A, if I remember correctly, for dribbles completed, which is that type of profile to have off the bench is really good. Yeah, it's a cheap 10-15 million price for a backup. Not too bad. Thank you, Mattia, for reminding us, getting more into the couple of screenshots. I didn't analyze the game too deeply. So this is the Napoli-Fiorentina game from the other day. Again, this is my point about the midfield. You can see, so this is Napoli's pressing. Obviously now they're playing 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1. All the 3 strikers, they try to press up to Fiorentina's centre back and their build up. But this is what happens. Kajust goes up to press. I think is Artur there, who's there kind of Fiorentina's playmaker. But Artur manages to pass to the left back. I think Biraghi out there. Look at the space he's got. And that Inter can create these types of overloads very, very easily if Kajust or Lobotka decide to step up and try to press us, because you can see there was so much gap. They're not used to this. If you're going to try and press high, then your defensive line, your defenders need to follow. You can see, if you see at the middle of the screen, number 5, Juan Jesus, he's kind of following Bonaventura there, but not fully. So it's like a man-for-man press, but not really. It's kind of like a half-hearted. And if they're going to press half-heartedly like this against us, they're going to get punished. And as I said in my post-match reaction the other day, when I watched the Fiorentina-Napoli game, Napoli actually got lucky because Fiorentina did win a penalty and they missed it. And that could have been a completely different game because that would have been 1-1. So 3-0 was quite a bit of a overperformance result from Napoli, to be honest. And speaking of Juan Jesus, yes, they're going to try and build up play from the back. But again, if we press Napoli like we pressed Lazio the other day, I don't think we're going to be able to press like that because there's definitely going to be physically, as Inzaghi has already hinted, you're going to have a little bit of a step back because there's going to be a bit of fatigue. The turnaround of the game is so quick. But let's say we start the game at least pressing high, you can have some joy here. So yeah, Juan Jesus here is trying to play out from the back, tries to pass to Mario Rui, but gets dispossessed or gets intercepted by Coyote here, and Fiorentina have a dangerous attack from this. So again, they're not their patterns of play from playing from out from the back. They're not great at the moment, so we can definitely punish them when it comes to these types of situations. And here's the penalty that they gave away. Mario Rui, as I was talking about, this guy was always, when you're talking about Napoli's and the Gattuso, Ancelotti, initially on the Spalletti, if you ask me what's the one weak point of Napoli, and I always used to say left back, Mario Rui. But in the Scudetto season, somehow, I don't know what kind of magic Spalletti worked, but he became a solid left back. He was good going forward and solid going back. But this is really kind of the level that we've seen for most of Mario Rui's career. He's got a lovely left foot, decent going forward, but definitely a weakness at the back. And here he was the one who gave away the penalty to Ikone. And we know we've got a penalty-winning merchant in Marcus Thuram at the moment in the box. So again, this is an area where they're susceptible. Is Kvara. You can see Kvara here is trying to help him. But how many times is Kvara really going to run back? He's all the way supposed to be supporting the striker. So he's going to have to work very, very hard. And they both did. Both Politano and Kvara worked very hard against Fiorentina. So I think they're going to be a bit tired from the game that they had against the Fiorentina as well. So if Mario Rui doesn't get that help from Kvara or one of the midfielders, they're going to be in big trouble once again. And then here, I think someone mentioned Bobby Marley mentioned it. I mean, we've spoken about Juan Jesus being, potentially an issue, but you got to give him fair play. The goal that they scored, the first goal, 1-0 up, they went. Look at that beautiful assist from Juan Jesus, who runs up from centre back, picks out Simeone in the back. So this is one thing to watch out for, especially now that we've got Bastoni out potentially. So it's going to be De Vrij and Acerbi on that side. Simeone loves running in behind, so he's definitely going to have, in terms of if there's balls in behind, he's going to have the pace on De Vrij and Acerbi for sure in these types of situations. So this is one thing we need to watch out for. This is a potential, banana skin of Napoli. And 100%, we shouldn't underestimate Napoli. They have nothing to lose. There's this type of danger that they can provide. But that's about it in terms of my screenshots and analysis from the Napoli Fiorentina game. Yeah, of course. But it's easy to say, isn't it, Bobby Marley? Like we know this Inter team can definitely do it, but the way that we did it against Lazio was to a level that is very, very hard to replicate. I struggle to see us replicating that level with just such a quick turnaround of this game. But I hope we can. I don't think we need, but that's the thing. I don't think we need to play at that high level to beat this Napoli team. I think just if we can get close to that level, then that should be, again, good enough to beat this Napoli team. Of course. That's how our fitness trainer. I'm always blanking on his name because Pinto is always there. He's famous, but Inzaghi's physical trainer. What's his name? Rippert. Yeah. And also we gotta give him praise for the lack of injuries we've had this season. Look at Milan's injuries, Napoli's injuries now. You can see even Real Madrid, Pinto's the legend, but they've got a lot of injuries this season, Real Madrid. I'm sure Inter fans would be moaning and saying, what's Pinto's doing if we had that many injuries? But Rippert, since he's come to Inter, I don't really remember many periods where we've had too many injuries, especially muscular injuries, which always indicate some form of overworking or training issues or training pitch issues. So credit must be given. And I'm sure, they've calculated things to make sure that players are ready for the second half of the season. Yeah, Matteo, as I said, well, the problem is we should have rotated the semi-final. Now that we're in the final, then he's not really going to rotate. I would do maybe a couple of things. As I said, Dumfries coming in for Darmian and Frattesi, but that's about it, really. Because you're in the final, this is not the game to rotate in. It was the previous one. No, that's what we said at the beginning, Bobby Marley. So Bastoni has a slight injury or fatigue, so that's the reason. What's the delay with Lautaro's renewal? Yeah, that's true. I haven't thought about Lautaro's renewal for a while, but they've both been saying. Marotta's been saying it. Lautaro's agent, Lautaro himself, has been saying that he's ready, and there's only a few details missing. But when it's these big contracts, there's lots of things to talk about. Image rights, when a player is so big as well, like Lautaro's got millions of followers, image rights, little bonuses. They're so complex, these big contracts. But yeah, so maybe something around bonuses, especially I think, as I said, I mentioned a few weeks ago, the fact that Osimhen renewed his contract recently, and now he's earning 10 million net a season at Napoli, which is crazy because Napoli I don't think the next best player is even touching 4. So Osimhen is more than double than any of the other highest earning player, and is much higher than any other Serie A player. So I think that now Lautaro's agent, Lautaro, looking at that, I'm better than Osimhen. I should be getting as much as Osimhen. So I think Inter's contract probably initially offer was around 7 plus bonuses. Now they're talking about 8 plus bonuses, and probably now Lautaro probably wants those bonuses to reach 10, and maybe in an easy way, not score 50 goals and then you might reach the bonuses. It's probably score 10 goals and win Scudetto and you get 10 million. So that's probably the delay in these big contracts. I remember how long it took for the Brozovic negotiations. It took 4 months or something. It was crazy. It took until March for him to sign that contract, and his contract was expiring as well at that time. And at that time, we made Brozovic our highest earning player at that time. No rotation in the cup final, as Mattia says. Yeah, the cup final. Going to watch. Hey, Faisal's here back again. So look at that. So as I was saying, it was pretty much sold out the first game. So I'm expecting the same. And yeah, bring us the luck again, Faisal, and enjoy once again. Hopefully, Inzaghi and the boys provide those an amazing feeling and amazing football to you once again. And of course, a trophy. Of course, the bringer of doom, Mattia. I'm sure he's laughing there, putting a laughing emoji, but I'm sure deep down he's rubbing his hands on the potential of Lautaro not signing this new deal and things falling through. We'll love to see experimentation. Yeah. Well, he's talking about Skriniar. No, I mean Bisek himself. He is a left centre back in terms of that's the position he was playing in Denmark when we signed him. He was playing left centre back, so it's not even a new position for him. But the problem is, it's at Inter in terms of the patterns of play and having that understanding with Di Marco, Augusto, and it's slightly different. And we know Inzaghi is risk averse when it comes to these types of things. But yeah, you can definitely do it. Just I wouldn't do it in a final for sure. But yeah, I mean, we know that it's happening right now, Bobby Marley, and it's about convincing Lautaro. That's the thing. That's what I mean. The timing of Osimhen's renewal is what is complicated things. If this renewal was done in the summer, then maybe it would have been different. But the fact that Osimhen got his renewal, which that dragged on for a long time as well, just before this is what's coupled. And now that Lautaro is going to finish. Like the Serie A top scorer race is so one-sided this year that we already know Lautaro is winning that easily, and he is one of the top scorers in Europe, not just Serie A. Oh, we've got a late appearance from the Kerr Mafia as well. Debbie, hope you are doing well, and of course your husband as well. No, Buchanan, as I mentioned earlier, he is not getting no minutes unless Inzaghi's feeling really generous. But the fact that he didn't get any in the semi-final, I'll be very shocked if he does get any minutes tomorrow. Let's finish up quickly, coming up to the hour mark, on Lautaro, who also was in the press conference. Let's talk about some of his main quotes. As he said, of course, as the captain, we have to respect them. We'll have a very tough team to come up against in front of us. We have to play a great match, maybe even better than we did against Lazio. I think we might have to suffer a little bit more because Lazio offer really not much going forward. I think I'm expecting Napoli to do a little bit more going forward than Lazio did. And once again, here we are. We was asked about the contract extension, and he said, the captain said, hopefully, I don't know, we're working hard on it. Martinez made it very clear that I'm happy here at Inter and my family is too. That's the thing, it's not like his contract is a ticking time bomb. There's plenty of time left. It's just when a player is performing this well, and strikers are very in demand at the moment. The striker market is very bad all around Europe. You just need to secure that type of talent as soon as possible. But for now, I'm just thinking about tomorrow's match. And you also think they asked him about Allegri's comments, and like they both, Inzaghi and Lautaro, kind of made fun of that I just want to focus on football, Inter, and all that kind of stuff. And also Lautaro actually said, it doesn't say in this quote here, but that they're enjoying playing football like almost as they were when they were kids, when you first start playing football, and this style of football under Inzaghi, they're really enjoying it, which is good to hear. But at the end of the day, as fans, it's nice. We also enjoy the style of football, but we want that Scudetto. We cannot lose out on that second star. Style of play is all nice and dandy, but we need that big trophy at the end of the season. Of course, both of the Kerr Mafia sat next to each other. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming through. We're just coming up to the end of the stream, so if you want to, rewind back, you can do that. There was some Jose to Napoli room. I don't know. I don't really see that happening. I think it probably end up like Ancelotti, where it's just not a good fit. It's just not a good fit. I don't really know how many coaches are a good fit with Aurelio De Laurentiis, to be honest. It'll be good to keep Jose in Serie A. Like, he does bring a lot of attention and eyes, but I don't really see that being a good fit at all. But let's finish up, guys. Let's finish up. I mean, of course, that's always a potential issue as well. But at the end of the day, Ian, those kind of doubts are wiped away when the whole management renewed their contract. The fact that Marotta, Ausilio, Bachin, they all renewed their contract recently as well. I think it's more to do with the, as I said, just they want the right number. They want the right figure. Osimhen, highest paid in the league. They probably want to match that. And for Inter, that's going back to the ownership, is probably more the fact that we probably can't match that. We can't really break our wage structure like that we pay him that much, because he doesn't get no growth decree benefits. So that's if we pay this guy 8 million or 9 million, that's straight up 18 million gross salary. And if we get to 10 with bonuses, that's 20 million per year. So for Inter's finances, that's a big sacrifice, which you have to make. But that's probably why there is this delay, negotiations back and forth. So let's finish up, guys. Predictions. Hopefully Barella can repeat the performance he had in the semi-final. He was really, really good. Really, really good. And there is no extra time. It goes straight to penalties, which is great. No extra wasted energies. Straight to penalties. I really like that. I really, really do like that. Eduardo's feeling positive. We're going to trash Napoli so they can fire Mazzari and hire Mourinho. That would be hilarious. Mourinho being a third coach just a week after he's got fired from Roma. But I don't know if he's gonna ask for a lot of salary as well, Mourinho. I don't see it. I don't see it happening, in my opinion. So Sharif says 2-0. Never Around says 4-1. We're not winning penalties. Bobby Marley says 3-0 again. Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a drop off. It was such a good performance against Lazio that I just don't see us repeating that just physically, on a physical level. But I still think it's going to be a pretty convincing win. This Napoli team at the back just don't convince me. Rahmani, Juan Jesus, Golini in goal as well. We forgot about to speak about because Meret is out. I mean, I don't even rate Meret, but Golini in goal, the goalkeeper who's on loan from Atalanta. Where is who owns Golini? This guy's always on loan, but actually, who owns this? It's still Atalanta who owns him. Yeah, so it's still an Atalanta player who hasn't been on 3 different loans. Yeah, still owned by Atalanta, but yeah, he's decent he's good on the ball, Golini, as a ball player, but as a goalkeeper is very, very questionable. So again, more reason for confidence. But yeah, I think, as I said, I'm expecting a bit more from Napoli defensively. Matthias says 3-1. We're maybe overconfident. Matthias predicting 3-1. Debbie also says 3-1. Eduardo says 4-0. Yeah, no, I don't. I know where you come from on the renewals, but as I said, the renewals, we remember the negative ones, but if you look at it, actually 90% of them have gone positively. It's just a couple here and there where we scuppered it. But the fact that that's where it comes to. With Skriniar, he said similar things, and we trusted him maybe in the wrong way. But with Lautaro, he's saying that he wants to renew and is close. So I'm choosing to put my trust in Lautaro, especially how he's been not just performing on the pitch, but just what he's become as a symbol for the team, as a captain as well. But yeah, Ian was saying 2 or 3-0. Sean says 3-0. Yeah, I'm happy to go with one of these. I'll probably go 3-1, as Mattia and Debbie say. I think I'll go for 3-1. I'll see Napoli maybe getting one from a corner or just one piece of, not concentrated at the back and letting something slip. But apart from that, if we play anywhere near the level that we played against Lazio, we should be wiping Napoli straight out of the pitch and getting the Supercoppa and bringing home the full 8 million prize money. Predict the 1-1-0. It works every time. Well, it works every time until it doesn't work, which is what happened happened last season. But nah, I've already said 3-1. Sorry, Matteo. I've already said the 3-1. But you see, it's always the Italian superstition, the guys that believe in the jinxes and doing this kind of stuff, especially Napolitans. Napolitans are crazy with superstitions, man. These guys, they weren't if you asked a Napoli fan last year, are you going to win the Scudetto? Until they actually won the Scudetto, a lot of them wouldn't say it. They're so superstitious. It's crazy. Will we see Pinter again? Yeah, hopefully. I wouldn't mind. As I said, that's why I pointed out Mario Rui in terms of being a big weakness at the back, or John Jesus. Definitely Marcus Thuram needs to go at these two guys on that left-hand side, drift out more to the left-hand side, and try to win a penalty for Pinter again. Of course, Marotta League, Saudi League. Milan fans will cry. And look at that, Matteo. Worst golf in Italy this summer. Make my dog kiss it before every game. So did the dog kiss it before the Sassuolo game or the Bologna game? Or the Real Sociedad game? Maybe there is truth to that. I'm actually asking, maybe there is some science behind this. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, of course, Mazzari has to say that. It's true though. You're imagine you're a Napoli fan. You're the current champions. You can't be going into this game as oh no, we can't beat this Super Inter team. We're the underdogs. Yeah, it's just they have to have some pride. Come on, you're 9th in the league. If I was a Napoli fan, I would be expecting a win actually tomorrow. But Fortunately, I'm not. Fortunately, I support this team, which sometimes is not so fortunate, but at the moment it is. And I hope they bring it home tomorrow. And I'll see you for the post-match reaction tomorrow, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all. 56 people in the house. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel before you leave. Yeah, see you, Habibi and Habibtis, tomorrow. Hopefully they bring it home from Saudi Arabia. Ciao ragazzi, forza Inter.